Hello, and welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle. Tonight we're stirring the pot with some of the most divisive debates in Walt Disney World. Is Dole Whip overrated? Is Lightning Lane just too confusing? Does Tiana's bio-adventure make a splash? These hot takes are guaranteed to spark some lively discussion, so we want to hear from you too. So whether you're here to defend your favourite traditions or ready to call out on the overrated attractions, let's get ready to waffle about it all. Welcome to the show.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I
go. Hello everybody, happy Wednesday.
Hello.
This is going to be, I think, one of our most controversial shows to date.
We'll see. Everyone might agree with us.
See what happens. I remember when we were talking about this on our planning call a few weeks ago, and it was like we had so many ideas and so many thoughts. I think some of us have wrote notes on this. Well, I hope so, because I know I've got a long list.
Yeah. Do you actually agree with that long list?
Oh, there's a lot of listeners, and I have to admit, there's quite a lot on this list that I do agree with. But I think it will spark some discussion. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, it was like there's a big discussion, and it always has been around Dole Whip. And I know quite a few of the team are fans of Dole Whip. Am I right, Robin?
I am definitely a Dole Whip fan, and won't be tied anyone to tell me it's not great. But is the controversial opinion, is original Dole Whip better than some of the flavours? There's been other flavours.
See, yeah, there's not just one flavour of Dole Whip, and I think with Dole Whip that there are so many different options and so many different desserts at Disney World. Is it the best?
Is it the best dessert in Disney? Probably not.
No.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get thrown out of Disney now. Probably not my favourite dessert, but I do love it.
Okay. I have to admit, I think I've only had Dole Whip once.
The original Dole Whip.
The original Dole Whip, yeah. I used to like it when it was in the Peter Pan's float.
Simon, that's one of Simon's favourites, that one, the lime.
Yeah.
Just give me a citrus swirl any day.
So, Claire, where do you sit on the Dole Whip?
It's ice cream.
So in other words, Claire won't like it.
Yeah.
It's sweet and delicious.
So it absolutely wouldn't be something. I always walk past and I look at all the people in the line. I go, oh, it's probably really nice and refreshing, but no, I tend not to bother. If I was going to have one, I do like the lime one out of all of them. That's really good, and I did like the Peter Pan's float. And I would choose a citrus swirl over, or the I Lava You float.
Yeah.
Over the original, I think.
See, I like, was it the Red's Revenge?
Yes.
Which was nice because it had a little chocolate hat.
But,
so
it's not something that I'd break my neck to try and get.
No.
Not even just for the hat.
No, I really wouldn't.
The small bit of chocolate that was on there, and in Florida heat didn't last very long.
And it didn't taste of anything. So it's just like modelling chocolate.
It
was like Hershey's.
To me. Okay, for those who are listening back and aren't watching, it was dark red and it was kind of triangular with like two. Yeah. It looked like a diagram of a uterus. That's what it looked like. I'll never forget the first time I got one of those Red Revenge, and I was like, "What is this on here?"
I didn't even think of that. So now I know why they don't sell it in the parks anymore.
So Wendy in the chat is telling us she hasn't found a Dole Whip flavour she doesn't like. So
see, Wendy's got the right idea.
See, yeah, and I think if you don't care for pineapple, I know you don't.
No, I don't
you're
like
not a fan
pineapple,
either.
so I've never had the original.
Have you had other flavours?
I've had the lime, and I've had the citrus swirl, and I've had the Red Revenge, which I think was strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
strawberry Fanta.
Would you go for the float, or did you just go for the sorbet?
I think we went with
both. I think I prefer it in a float. I think, unless it's a citrus swirl.
You see, I'd go for the citrus float.
Okay.
See, I prefer it without the drink underneath, and just like sloppy ice cream in the top of my drink now.
The minute that starts getting to a soup, I'm done. Ice cream soup, absolutely not.
This is why they
with
have a
the,
straw. There's always a straw option or a spoon.
Yeah, but it's gross. It's disgusting. When it gets to that stage, that is getting tipped in a bin. That is just.
It's like the stuff you get at the cinema. Then it's like the Tango Ice Blast or the.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
but
the
the drink's
freezies, the ices.
okay.
If it's a slushy drink,
Yeah, well, you just
I'm
mix
okay
it
with
together and then it's like a slushy.
Well, when it's with
there's
the
something rancid
floats,
about
it's like an
melted
ice cream
Dole Whip.
soda.
Yeah, so I don't like the ice cream bit. So if it was, I would have the sorbet bit. So the original Dole pineapple bit or the citrus bit. I don't need the swirl of the ice cream. So then you can mix it in with the drink, and it's just like slushy.
I've just got this vision of Claire having like 2 cups, one with like the drink separate to the ice cream.
No,
That's how I would have it.
the ice cream bit where they mix it with a vanilla swirl. I can do without the vanilla. I don't need any of that. Just give me the sorbet bit.
See, I like the swirl. The swirl's my favourite one.
No.
Let us know your favourite Dole Whip. Let us know what your hot takes are Disney. Any controversial, put them in the comments and we will get to them later. Also, if you are enjoying the show, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. It really helps us out and lets us keep more waffle coming your way. So I'm looking forward to tonight. I think we've started quite well with Dole Whip. So I think, should we go around see who wants to take the next one?
I'll go. Because I think this topic came about because of something I said.
Yeah.
Yes,
when we were having a chat one evening. So I'm going to own up to that immediately and own this. And one of my controversial Disney views is that I don't get the Grand Floridian. I don't particularly want to stay there. I don't understand why everyone raves about it. I like the smell. I like where it is positioned around Seven Seas Lagoon. But I don't want to stay there. I don't understand why everyone goes crazy about it. I just don't feel it.
I think we need to boot you off the feed right now.
Yeah, get rid of that.
And there are many other places I would choose to stay in preference to the Grand Flow.
I think it's different once you've stayed there, and it gives you a different thought process. Because Claire, I wouldn't have agreed with your comments, but after staying there, I'm not rushing back. And I honestly, it was great. It was a dream resort to stay in that when we first walked into the Grand Floridian in 2014. It's been on my bucket list, and in 2023 we got a chance to stay there for a week. And I'm not rushing back. The cost it was, I'd much rather stay at the Polynesian. There are a lot of other resorts that I think offer better value with still the proximity. Yes, I'll still go and visit. I will still go to places like for food, like Grand Floridian Cafe. But everything else there doesn't really. I don't know. They had a bit of a reverb. I like the rooms. I like the Mary Poppins theme. It's nice, but I don't think it's worth paying that extra. Where I feel like the 2 times we stayed at the Polynesian, I've enjoyed that holiday more, as in staying in that hotel and staying in the rooms.
So there's something about it for me that, like, Robin calls me bougie Claire, right? So by all intents and purposes, I should love the Grand Floridian, but I don't. And actually, I just think that when I walk into it, it doesn't give me that. You know, everyone walks in and goes, "Oh, it's amazing." I don't feel like that. I walk into Animal Kingdom Lodge and feel like that. The Grand Flow just doesn't tick my boxes. Even when, Carol's playing the piano, it's lovely. I like it. It smells nice. It's bright and sunny, but no.
At Christmas there's a gingerbread house, but it's one of those things that I think I'm glad that I've stayed there, but I would stay there again, but it wouldn't be the one that's top of my list.
Sorry, Karen.
I'm with you, Claire. It was never on my bucket list to stay there. It was always on Ben's. I like visiting, but I've always felt slightly out of place. I always feel
out of place.
Especially the first visit, I just feel like maybe I'm a little bit too common.
Is that like when you
are definitely not?
Is that when you walked into Waitrose with a little bag?
I've seen some people who stay there. You're not too common.
No, we stay there. They let some right ruffians in.
I do think that it is going for that slightly 1900 Victorian upper class vibe.
Yeah.
and that's not me.
I don't think the room qualities have kept up with that.
I
I
agree.
could be wrong. I think there's all of the other resorts have had sort of refurbishments recently, especially things like Grand Destino Tower, Riviera, Polynesian. I feel like they've just gone up a level. Where I feel like the rooms at Grand, they've just literally, it's a bit out of date. We'll just change it for the most recent furniture we've got, instead of actually looking at it and we're going to look into detail and give it more attention to detail and how can we make this resort different to the rest.
It kind of feels a bit like a. This sounds really awful. I'm just thinking about. I'm never going to be allowed in there again. It kind of feels like a really upmarket old people's home.
No, I can. Having worked in one, I completely get what you're saying.
Carpet and the chairs.
Yeah, I
And-
can see
Like,
it.
if you
Having a
for
piano.
me, Grand Destino Tower, the rooms are modern, they're sleek, they're nice, herringbone floor, and they're spacious, and it feels like it's smart and clean. I'm kind of not sure what's happened on those carpets. And I don't like it. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, they're
But
very
yeah, that-
chintzy.
Maybe don't take a black light to those carpets. Is that what you're saying?
I was going to say that when we were there last year, they're having a refurbishment for a lot of the rooms, a lot of places, and a lot of it was emergency refurbishment because due to mold.
Oh wow!
So a lot of it was just
Bit grim.
areas that had to be changed, and it's one of those things. But how long did they leave it not being maintained?
Yeah.
And then it's like we'll rush through what we do instead of actually thinking through. Because with the Disney Vacation Club side of resorts, it's every 7 and 14 years that you get a full refurbishment.
It's meant to be.
It's meant to be.
It's meant to
Yeah,
be.
it's meant to be. But
Animal
we know it's not.
Well, meant to be in 2020. We're still waiting for that. But
Well, I'd say COVID, but also we know how what Disney do with their years. It flexes and changes to what suits them. But yeah, no,
You see members pay for it. That's the odd thing, is that's what your dues are for.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But,
going back to the Grand Floridian, I disagree, obviously, because it's one of our home resorts.
I know.
But my controversial opinion is I don't like staying there at Christmas. I know everyone's going to be like, but that's
No,
the time to go. It's the gingerbread house. It smells wonderful.
It's two people. It's
Two
yeah.
people.
Everyone is there to see
Trying to
the
get the
gingerbread house.
monorail is like.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there.
Yeah, I don't
100%.
enjoy it at Christmas. We've stayed there at Christmas a couple of times, and I'm not about it. It's too many people there. The gingerbread smell is wonderful to go and visit the gingerbread house. Every day that just gets to the point where it's giving you a headache. It becomes unpleasant.
It's like smelling the same candle day in, day out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually my controversial opinion is that I don't like staying there at Christmas, which is, I'm sure most people say they dream to stay there at Christmas.
I think it's one of those.
Nah,
I think
I'd rather be over at
it
Wilderness
was a dream resort, but now I've stayed there. I'm happy to move
See some
to
others.
somewhere else. Yeah, I think there's
You're a
some others
complete
that.
step, Ben.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
We
does that
haven't
mean
got many left, you know.
It's okay for some.
Yeah.
We've
We
just
still
got
have to
Phil
stay at All-Star
Disney
movies.
Sea ones anyway.
Oh.
Resort bingo.
Yeah.
Has anyone done that on the buses? Done bus roulette?
What,
No,
in the morning?
I've never
Just
done
go-
that.
Just get on the first bus that arrives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
No, never
Good
done that.
fun.
It's good
We
fun.
always end up Coronado Springs.
Because you always have that thing of having to go to a resort, to a park, and then from that park to back to another resort.
Yeah.
But no.
Now, I've usually got a plan where I want to be.
Okay.
What if an all-star bus came first? I'd be very annoyed then.
Yeah. It'd be choosing which one do you go to, sports, movies, or music.
Neither. None of them.
No.
So I know
Yes.
Claire's
Go
explored
all
all
the way
three.
But I've been to pop. I'm not. That's. Anyway, that was my controversial. That's what sparked all of this conversation. Was my not dislike, but
Okay.
my preference is not for the Grand Floridian.
Okay.
Other than
So-
location.
Simon, what's your hot take?
So I think my hot take is that Hollywood Studios is the worst of the Disney parks in Disney World.
Oh, this is what this.
I do-
There we go. Done.
I agree with him.
So do I.
Sorry. There we go.
You're
Sorted.
gonna have to go to me now. You do realise this, right?
I think you're right.
I
No,
agree with you.
no. I can't agree that that's the worst Disney park.
Unless we're
Which
going
one's
to the water
worse?
parks.
I'm discounting the water parks mainly because they're not open all year round, right? And not everybody goes to them.
Yeah.
Not everybody
Yeah,
has to.
no, I agree with that.
So out of the 4 main Disney parks, Hollywood Studios for me, by far the least cohesive, it's not evolved well over the years. There's dead ends and weird bits, and
Yeah.
we spoke about it yesterday. That Star Tours gap to
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge is
The
weird.
launch bay that's just in this random there's empty building that's not being used for very
Yeah.
much, and the Little Mermaid show that apparently is going to be opening next year.
Yeah,
The food
Just-
is rubbish.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, God, yeah, it's horrible.
just
I still can't put it as the park. I can't put it as the worst park because it was the first Walt Disney World park we went to.
So what
Okay.
do you put as your worst?
Yeah, with the hat. Yes, Claire, the hat was there.
What would you put as the worst?
One that I've least liked the most.
Yeah.
It's quite controversial because it's
I know which one it's going to be.
So
as
it's
well.
Magic Kingdom, isn't it?
yeah, I don't do with people and crowds. So there's a lot of things where I found with Magic Kingdom. I like Magic Kingdom, but I can't put it as my favourite park. It's nowhere near my favourite park. And I know go back 5.5 years of doing this show that I would never put Epcot as my favourite park, but it's currently my favourite park.
And now you realise you were wrong.
Yes.
There you
After
go.
5.5 years and several more trips and a lot more drinking around the world, I've realised
think you just-
that Epcot.
come around to my way of thinking that Hollywood Studios is the worst park of
It
the 4.
is. It is the worst.
Yeah, I agree.
It's lost its citizens, so the
There's no atmosphere.
Hollywood streets have no atmosphere to them.
However,
There's bits of like Roger Rabbit stuff that's there that's disconnected from everything else that's there. Just a mishmash of
Just lost its
IP
identity.
stuff. Just it feels a little bit thrown together now. It's like we've got that. I'll stick something in there. Whereas Magic Kingdom's got much better flow layout. Epcot's well structured. Hollywood Studios for me.
How do you think with the Magic Kingdom expansion? And I think this is going to. We've always said that the parks are always going to evolve. They're always going to change. Hollywood Studios has evolved and changed a lot since we first went there in 2013.
But I
Right,
don't necessarily think it's for the best though.
No, but I think, and I think this is the thing. Could we be talking about in a decade's time, thinking about the new expansions at Magic Kingdom being the same? Could it be? I don't know. I'd hate to think that we'd think that Villains Land and this new Cars area at Magic Kingdom is going to ruin it, but we don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, there's also already been some controversy to see over whether they're putting Cars Land.
yeah. There's just like
Yeah.
the controversy of getting rid of Muppets and moving them to Rock and Roller Coaster.
It's
Sure,
just
it'd be
a
fun.
mess. Hollywood Studios is a mess.
I feel like we need to go to redesign it. We could, how if we were reopening Hollywood Studios, what would we put in? Where would we put it? How would we organise?
That's
the
a
park?
whole other show then.
Yeah,
we could do a whole show on that.
that's what I think.
Basically, what we
John's
just
not here.
Someone make a note.
No, because John's not here, so someone needs to make a note.
we just need a map from 20 years ago,
That's very Muppets.
and then be like, "There we go. That's what we need to do." It would
Where's
be
the backlot
perfect.
tour?
I don't know. I like.
Backlot tour,
There's so many. Well, the backlot tour. Yeah. Catastrophe Canyon.
Golden
R.I.P.
Raspberries.
Yeah.
So, my hot take is I can't be bothered to park hop. I don't see the point. If I'm in a park and I'm doing loads of rides, why do I need to park hop? People. So like we went to Disneyland and we didn't buy park hopper tickets because I don't see the point. I really don't. I mean, yeah, if you're thinking you're only going to do a couple of hours, then go back to the resort for a few hours, and then go back to a park, maybe it has its place. But I'm probably not park hopping, and I don't know if this is another one or we can bundle it together. Also, rope drop. I ain't making rope drop.
Oh, that's a whole other issue.
That's a completely different
That's a
thing.
different
So no, they're two separate issues.
Park hopping. I absolutely agree with you. If you need to park hop, you haven't planned properly.
Yeah.
That's my view. You haven't thought it through.
And unless it's to a
unless
point
it's
where
a
there's
party night or something like that. So
Yeah.
you park hopped when
Or
or there's a
Kingdom
reservation and you're
closed,
going to there's a
and we were
different park.
going over to Epcot to eat and watch Luminous because Magic Kingdom had shut.
Yeah.
Or you do an Epcot to Hollywood Studios because they're right close to each other.
And
Yeah,
I
that's
think
yeah.
well, especially
Well,
Hollywood Studios doesn't have anything to eat. We know, and I think
Studios
that
The food is
Studios
up.
yeah. So you
Food
do
is
Hollywood
up.
Studios first,
and head over
and
to
then
Epcot for food.
to see Luminous.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't.
I don't see the need to park hop.
No.
There's so much time used
In
going-
yeah.
on transport.
And it depends how you park hop as well. Because if you're going from Hollywood Studios to Epcot, that's not too bad because you've got the Skyliner, you've got friendship boats that you could walk. It's only 20 minutes. Where if you're looking at getting a bus from other resorts, other places, it's not as easy. Sometimes you
No.
can be on the bus for a good 45 minutes, then go through security again before you get into the park.
Yeah, and you have to. But buses, do they? I think after a certain time they go from park to park. But if you want to hop during the day, you'll have to go to a resort and then change.
Yeah, it's
Which
after
is
4
just-
p.m. Or it
Yeah.
used to be.
I think it's earlier now. I think it's after 11.
Is it
Okay.
after 11? Oh, that's
Wow.
good. Last time I was there, I think the last time I used it was 2 p.m. still.
No.
So
Yeah.
11 a.m.
Yeah,
Not too
I
bad.
just-
Yeah.
I guess there are ways around it. So if you were somewhere and you were park hopping to Magic Kingdom and you weren't on the monorail, you weren't at Epcot, you could potentially
Yeah.
get the bus from Animal Kingdom to Contemporary and then walk in. But it's all a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Just
A
plan
lot
a
of
day.
a lot of the times we've park hopped has normally been I've been to Animal Kingdom in the morning. It's got to like 1, 2 in the afternoon, and I feel like I've done everything I wanted to achieve there. And it's like, do I go back to the hotel?
Yeah.
Sorry, did you just say you've done everything you want to achieve in?
Yeah, but-
That's if it's
Okay.
a fourth day in a row there, though.
Yeah, this is like our 3rd day at Animal Kingdom that trip,
Yeah.
3rd, 4th day. So I've done everything that I
Heard of
want
the
to.
Nomad Lounge.
Yeah.
Yes, and we've visited it 3 times already. This is like the 4th
Not
day
for
at
long
Animal
enough,
Kingdom.
clearly.
I mean,
Claire, I don't spend
usually
hours in there. I don't need
It would
to.
have been
Why not?
If you
Park in
can't
the
recite the ingredients and the recipe of the cocktail
And a
menu
Bernazine. Yeah,
by heart, you've not spent enough time in the
exactly.
But yeah, normally it would be park in the morning, back to the hotel for a bit of a rest for a couple of hours, and then a different park in the afternoon.
Yeah. It's especially if we decided
Or
like
a meal in the middle of the day at a resort, and then
yeah,
on
because
to
it
the next
used to be
one.
that before when we used to
Just
get
keep it
bus
quiet.
passes that we would
Keep it
book the first
quiet.
3 in the morning at a
That could
resort.
be-
Yeah, I'll kill 3 hours. Just stand by line the rides. Wait
No.
outside Yak and Yeti with no reservation.
Even with a Landry card, it'd be a 2-hour wait.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
No,
What?
good.
With a Landry
Wait 2
card?
hours with Landry.
No.
Wow, no.
Yep.
Wow.
When I was
Never
there
had
in
that.
October. Yeah.
Longest I've ever had with a Landry, I think, was 5 minutes.
No,
Maybe 10.
there was 3 of us, and they said it'll be 2 hours,
Wow.
and we went.
Oh, I think.
And that's when we had the cast member issue when we went. We decided to go to the quick service, and then I had the issue.
Ah.
It took me to guest services to complain. That's a whole other story, people. We won't go into that tonight.
That's a story for
No.
another time.
Becca, what's your hot take?
I've got a couple. All surrounded by Hollywood Studios, strangely enough.
It's all the hate on Hollywood Studios tonight.
So I'm going to give a on-topic one. I think that they are putting the Monster Inc. land, Monsteropolis, in the right place.
You think you're putting it in the right
right
place?
Yes, I think
Why is
the
that, Becca?
I think that the infrastructure is already there for most of it. So there's shops there, there's restrooms, there's restaurants, both quick service and which
There we
means
go. Disney went to
Not
cheap.
only- not only is it going to save them money, but in theory, it should mean it's up quicker.
I
mean,
reckon the land will open before the
It
rain.
gets rid of Pizza Rizzo, which is a result.
Gets rid of Pizza Rizzo. It
Monstropolis
opens
pizza.
back up that area that is not in use at the moment, apart from the Pizza Rizzo and for the Muppets 3D.
All I can say is I reckon that
We already know I hate the Muppets 3D because it
that
gives me
quick
a
service
headache.
restaurant
So
will
that's
sell
gonna
pizza.
Do you think
probably, but
they might retheme the bottom end of what's left of Streets of America, where baseline tap houses, that bit opposite?
think
The
the entrance
courtyard.
will probably change.
Okay.
Will probably
Yeah, that's a good point.
become
Because
more.
that single little row of shops,
Yeah,
big shops, obviously Disney shops, the little terrace on the right hand side by baseline, all of that will no longer fit.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's
they're
true.
gonna
Yeah, that's
get rid
true.
of that, and what will they do with baseline?
But then how far round do you go?
Because baseline's
Well,
a little bit
I
further.
suppose, like,
got-
the
you've
ABC
got-
is like a different,
Sci-fi dining, ABC,
yeah.
they're
you could-
right next to each other.
yeah.
So it's kind of where does it stop?
But that
yeah.
red
I
brick
think
area-
I don't think they'll do that. I think it will be into
That'd
the
be
gate.
random then.
I think it would be when
Just
you got the
leave that
steps
random
down.
section.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, that red brick area kind of is congruous with the Muppet fountain and the red brick on
Yeah.
the ground, all of that. If they change
So-
that, then that's going to stick out like a sore thumb.
I think it'll start
It will fit into Hollywood
where
Studios then.
the toilets are for the
Yeah.
Muppets area. So where there's kind of that
Yeah, that
almost
little
an arch
yeah,
one.
Yeah,
I think that archway will be the start of Monstropolis, and it'll go back from
Yeah.
there.
I think so too.
yeah.
It'll fit.
Um,
It'll fit as well with the baseline tap house as it does right next to Star Tours. So
Yes.
Brilliant.
And
or the industrial
depending,
toilets
It'll be
the other
fun
side
too.
of it as well. Yeah.
Yes.
depending on how they do the front and the facade, they could get it to fit in quite nicely, because you could end up walking from that Streets of America bit into the city of Monstropolis. So it's still buildings, it's still
Via Tatooine.
yeah, via Tatooine, but we'll ignore Tatooine and pretend you're going out through the ABC scenery.
They're going to convert all of that bit to Monstropolis, and then we'll be waiting 3 years for the next Tron coaster, which will be the
Door coaster.
Only
Yeah.
3.
I think
Finish the rest of it.
Oh,
It'll be 5 years before the roller coaster's done, but we'll get the Monstropolis bit built. So there'll be a restaurant and a theatre there
Yeah.
that will
Yeah.
be just different from what they are now.
Yeah.
'cause it's quite
Yeah.
interesting when you look on Google Maps, you can see like the car park and everything behind it. The where the actual door coaster is going to be. They don't have to do that bit yet. They could do Monstropolis and go coming soon on this door
Of course they will.
coaster.
Yeah.
And it'll be well. I thought what they could do in the theatre is just bring Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor from Magic Kingdom and put it in Monstropolis.
Again, isn't that just one of those bizarre things? If you've got something Monsters Inc. over in the other part,
Yep.
That's not great.
But there's a Frozen ride in Epcot and the Frozen show in Hollywood Studios. It's
Yeah.
this is
not
true.
Yeah.
new.
that's because the thing at Hollywood Studios was just shoehorned in because they didn't have anything else to put in.
They
there.
needed
Yeah, but
they need
yeah.
crowd swallowing
Yeah.
capabilities.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still one of the best things in Hollywood Studios.
And that's my next hot take.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
That is one of the best shows on Walt Disney World property.
Yeah, I think I would tend to agree with you.
It's
And is that just the sad state of entertainment
entertainment.
in Walt Disney World at the minute?
It
Or
probably no. I do you know what? I think we've seen that show plenty of times over the years. And at the first thing, oh, it's a Frozen show. First thought, I'd go and I'll have a nap. And it's like, no, you can't. You can't have a nap because there's too many people screaming, shouting, and
I don't know.
trying to sing along. But
Do you know,
The holiday version's also
Yeah.
excellent.
The
Yeah,
holiday
Olaf
version's
comes out at
amazing.
the end and does Happy Jolly.
yeah,
I
It's
would
so
enjoy
good.
it better without the singing. Can we skip
Yeah,
the
so would I.
singing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't need the
if-
singing bit.
no.
I don't need the
You
sing
mean-
along.
I mean, the holy audience sing-along participation bits.
Just we don't need. Just get rid of the songs. Just
Yeah,
tell
but
us
then-
the story. Make us
Yeah.
laugh.
we are
Make,
Let's
make,
sing
make
all.
a slightly longer story. Just
Bit snow.
humbug miseries, aren't we? Shut the singing up.
no,
This is rubbish. Get rid of that.
you know what,
Show
I
of
like
positivity tonight.
the singing.
Absolutely filled for December. That's
I like the singing, and what I especially like about it is watching, and this is going to sound really weird, watching the kids that have never done it before and that are big Frozen fans getting to sing along and have a great time.
No, I like that as well.
Yeah.
I do.
I like
think
watching
that's
the
lovely.
Disney dads singing at the top of their
I
voice.
like seeing the
Yeah.
Disney dads.
Yeah.
'Cause
We've
that
definitely
makes-
got Simon's dad on video singing along.
right, and they think no one's looking, and
Yeah.
they're just like coming, and they're like, yeah, we see you.
We
You
sing
know all the
singing
words.
along.
See if my dad does.
I just think the historians are just incredible. They're really good. And I think that's the thing, it's a show, I think it's for everyone that hits at every level and at every age group.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
What a-
I
Probably
what
the
a
second
great
best show
show.
at Walt Disney World.
second best.
Well, Festival of the Lion King
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and Frozen.
Yeah,
I feel
probably.
sorry for Nemo.
And then maybe Nemo.
Sorry, John.
Sorry, he's not here to defend it, so.
How
Yeah.
about you, Claire? I think we're going back around again. What's
Are
your
we?
what's
Okay,
your
well.
next?
So, this is going to sound weird, and it's not quite how I mean it. I don't like drinking around the world at Epcot.
Okay.
You don't like what around the world?
Drinking around the world.
Drinking around the world.
And what I mean is, I don't like it when lots of people drink around the world at Epcot. And I don't know if that's a controversial opinion, because I tend not to do it hardcore like some people do. I might have a couple of drinks. I don't go the whole hog. I certainly don't do one in every country.
I don't feel like that would help my day.
Do
you know what I mean?
I'd get 2 countries in and have to be taken home.
It really, really irritates me when I see people in matching t-shirts where they're ticking off the countries. And I've been there. We've done t-shirts where we've done that, and now I see it, and it almost ruins my day, and I want to leave World Showcase when I see it, especially big groups of raucous people.
Yeah.
I just like, do you know what? I'm just going to go back and do Moana again, because I don't want to be around you people.
I think it's one of those really disappointing things that have happened at Epcot from that point of view, because I can't. It's one of those things you don't want it to ruin your day. It sounds like a fun thing to join in and do, but actually it can just create a horrible atmosphere in the park.
Yeah, and I don't particularly like the food from the festival booths. I think it's very expensive.
Oh, that's a whole other ball game, Claire. That's a whole other thing.
I just find the whole bit of World Showcase not how I want it to be. I want to be able to go and enjoy World Showcase for what it is, not because I'm fighting through crowds of drunk people and spending $12 on a plate of 3 pieces of cheese bread. But yeah. I know lots of people love it. Lots of people go to Epcot just to drink around the world. They're the people that I avoid.
Yep.
I actually agree with you, Claire. I don't really like people that have had too much to drink, but I know I do walk around in my own bubble a lot of the time, so I haven't really experienced lots of it. Thankfully. There was one time on a friendship boat, there was 2 ladies behind us having a conversation. We were like, wow, they are past it.
It was a good job nobody had a naked flame at that point. Wow.
But they weren't being obnoxious. And I think that is really what it's about. It's about people drinking too much that they can't handle, being loud, being obnoxious,
impacting other people's day,
impacting other people. So I'm with you. I don't like that in any walk of life, in any wherever I am. I don't like that personally.
I mean, I don't know how they have the money to do that in Epcot.
No, I don't.
It's so expensive.
The thing is, they've started off with drinks and go, okay, I'll go for something slightly cheap in Mexico, work the way around, and then it's like they've forgotten. So they're just how many drinks they've had, so it doesn't matter.
Tapping the card.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what their magic band's for. Just
I mean, we saw 2 girls, they must have been early 20s, in Japan when we were there in October, and Millie was in the queue behind them. Their behaviour was appalling. They were rude. They were obnoxious to the cast members. They had no idea what they were ordering. They could barely string 2 words together. And had I been the cast member behind the counter, I probably wouldn't have served them, but they did. And I just think, you know, it's not okay to be that inebriated, because it does impact on other people, and it really I would just wanted to go, come on, let's just leave, and I shouldn't feel like that. So that annoys me.
And every single part of me is going, just because you're at Disney doesn't mean it's
still
safe.
see you.
Yeah, it's still okay. It's not okay just because you're at
Would
Disney.
you do that in your everyday life? And I know
Maybe
some
they do.
people
Maybe
would,
they do.
but
Yeah.
would
Right.
you get so drunk and passed out drunk that you can't string 2 words together because it's not safe?
I think
Anything could happen.
I think the big thing about it is just being careful that you're not only impacting your own day, but you're also impacting everyone else's. And this could be someone else's. That every time that you walk into a park, there's someone having that first experience of Disney or that park. So it's just being mindful.
Yeah.
Nobody wants the physical incarnation of a lads mag wandering around Larry, drunk,
Yeah.
and abusing. Nobody wants that when you're walking around the showcase, do you?
No.
You want to be followed by that. You don't want to come across it when you're around there. It's,
I'd quite happily have a couple of drinks. I'll have a glass of wine. I'll have 2, but I'm not going to drink in every country, and I'm certainly not going to get to the point where I don't know how loud I'm speaking.
Well, that's just me without a drink. I don't know how loud I am.
You'll talk to anyone at any time. You don't care. You'll
also
just...
yes. Also yes.
That is not me at all, as you know. I tend not to.
That's a separate issue.
Right.
That's a separate issue.
Yeah. The day I was in Epcot and I didn't actually... I was on a solo trip and I didn't actually speak a word to anyone until 5 o'clock in the afternoon when I met up with Hank. I've been there since rope drop.
Not even a cast member.
Say, please and thank
not
you.
even the cast member when you're buying anything.
Just please and thank you.
Can I help you?
No, I said the correct pleasantries to make sure that I was polite, but other than that, no conversations, and it was great.
That does sound pretty good.
We all need a day like that sometimes, though.
Yeah. But anyway, that was mine. People who are unnecessarily drunk in Epcot.
Simon, what's your next hot take?
What about you then?
Yeah.
You can come back. I can tell you mine. Come back, Simon. Because we already know my other one is rope drop is overrated. I'm not getting up at that time in the morning. Maybe on day 1 or even day 2 when the jet lag's there. But after that, I'm not getting up for rope drop and then staying there all day. I'm not spending from rope drop.
That's 2 different things.
Where park closed, I'm not staying. I'm also not making it for rope drop.
I think there's a time and a place that I think before we have done rope drop to fireworks.
Yeah, we've done that before as well. You know, when we were young.
I don't think, it's not something that...
This is why we tend to do, if we're going to back to the park hopping as well, we'll do rope drop, go back to the hotel about lunchtime, have a relax by the pool for a couple of hours, evening in a different park.
Yeah. Claire, are you a rope drop person?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will be there.
All the way
you
through the trip.
for 5 days, so you've got to pack that time in, haven't you?
Even if I'm there for 2 weeks, I would always choose to go first thing in the morning. Number one, the weather's better.
Yeah.
No.
You know.
Crowds
I like
lower.
park close.
See, I love park close.
Kids,
I am
a
like person.
See, the difference is that they haven't usually, because they're normally kept out or they're crying because they want to go to sleep.
There is some of those, or there's some just like passed out in their pushchairs. Which is always...
I'm a morning person in like every day. So for me, by the end of 2 weeks, I think we probably don't go to the parks maybe till like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But we'll go for breakfast first. But the beginning, and certainly when I'm there on my own, I'm at the park. I'm leaving the room at 7:30.
Yeah. I think Animal Kingdom opens for like the extra half an hour is like 7:30. Yeah. So we would make sure that we are at
Animal
I want to be
Kingdom
on
for
the bus at
7.
We're at the we're usually off the bus at 7, so we're literally front of the queue, so we can just walk straight through and then go into Pandora.
I may
Oh,
not
I'm
stay.
impressed.
I may not stay all the way till rope drop till close.
No.
But I might, depending on how I feel.
Yeah.
And I have
It's
done.
and especially on those first few days when when you've got that jet lag, when you wake up like 4, 5, 6 in the morning, not through choice, but it's one of those things that you do it, and it's like, do you know what? I'm awake. I might as well go to the park, enjoy it as much as I can. And our tradition used to be that we'd stay in the park till about 2, 3 o'clock, and then think, okay, we need food. So we'd normally then go to Disney Springs for the rest of the evening. But have to admit, I'd happily stay in the park as long as I feel like that I'm awake enough to do so. But yeah, I think you miss a lot by not getting there for rope drop.
Wait times for one.
What's the latest you've ever been to a park, apart from party nights?
Oh, I remember when Magic Kingdom used to be open late. We did make it till 4 a.m. in Disneyland when they had the 24-hour thing opening for the 60th anniversary.
I think we'd done about 20,
we'd done from 8
something hours.
8 a.m. till 4 a.m. the next day. We'd done without leaving, because if you left, you weren't getting back in because it was
rammed.
Like,
it was
full.
one in, one out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we made it till 4 a.m. But in Walt Disney World, used to be frequently open till midnight, and we've been in the park at 1:30 in the morning. We've got empty park photos, empty Main Street photos.
I mean, I've definitely done rope drop 7:30, 7:45 in the morning, and still been out and about, not necessarily in the park, but I might have been in a bar or a restaurant until 1:30 a.m. without stopping. I might have nipped back to the room to get changed or change my shoes or something, but I've definitely done till 1:30, maybe 2 in the morning.
That's impressive.
Then I'll be up for, certainly on a solo trip,
and
then I'll be up again at 7 the next day.
Yeah, I remember we were there over Christmas.
Sleep on the plane, it's fine.
When we thought it was when it was really busy, but we spent most of the time in the park, and we were literally getting back to the resort at midnight.
Yeah.
We were waking up at 6. We were waking up at 6 a.m. And getting ready for the park next day. And we were staying at All Star Sports.
Yeah.
So
it was like, it was just bare essentials in the room, sleep, out in the park. Yeah.
I think it's about whether you like getting up early in the morning or not. If you're not an early morning person generally.
Yeah.
I
generally, but I am at Disney.
Yes.
We did 15 years ago.
Yeah, we did when we were young.
Yeah.
I'm old now. I need rest.
You're younger than me. You're all younger than me. So come on.
Yeah, I'll have whatever you're having.
I need to highlight this in the comments because
I think that I was going to say we need to. Guardians is overrated.
Needs to quantify that.
I agree. I think it's overrated.
How many times have you done it, Robin?
Twice. That's enough.
But is that because it made you ill when you rode it?
It made me feel a bit queasy both times. I was okay. I could ride it again. What put me off is that they were stood at the exit holding sick bags as you got off, which made me go, I don't want to ever see anyone vomiting.
So I've never seen them hold them. They have them available, but...
Nah, I just also don't get the point. I thought it was overrated. I didn't think the ride was that amazing. I didn't come off going, oh my God, that's amazing. I was
really surprised when I first rode it because, like you see, they all mention that cast members there with sick bags at the end. You think, oh God, what is this ride going to be like? But actually, first time I went on it, was like, that was incredible. Best ride at Disney. And I still think that.
So I would agree with that. It does make me really dizzy. And I do have to sit down for 5-10 minutes afterwards just to get my equilibrium back.
I think that's also a little bit to do with your MS.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't have any balance anyway, so spinning around for 3 minutes or however long it is.
The thing is, though,
feels like 5 minutes.
They aren't on a free-form spin.
No.
They are
controlled.
Yeah, it's not like being on like the Crazy Mouse where it just spins depending on the weight in the car. Yeah. They are calculated turning rather than, I know that there's moments where you...
I wonder whether there's like a limit that it's at.
I have no issue with motion sickness at all. I love everything that spins. I love everything that throws you around. And other than a pirate ship. You know, the ones that go over the. I don't particularly.
Oh,
like
Yeah,
it's like,
the
yeah.
springy
Like
things.
yeah. But I love teacups. I love Mission Space Orange. All of that stuff. I have no problem with reading in a car, and I've just got one of those brains that it doesn't affect. And I think that Guardians is an outstanding attraction. I love the theming of it. I love the fact you don't know which music you're going to get. I think it's brilliant. I can see if you got motion sickness that it might not be for you.
Yeah.
But I've not. Dan gets really bad motion sickness. You know, he cannot go on the teacups even if we don't spin it.
Yeah.
Which never happens. So he sits at the side for anything that spins. But he likes Guardians.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I can do the teacups if you don't spin it.
You can't go on with us because the game is how fast can you spin it. If people aren't pointing and laughing at you, you're not going fast enough.
I have to admit, I was like that before, but this year we went to Universal. What was that? Storm Force.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it's like,
Storm Force.
I was like, we were spinning it as fast as it was going, and I was like, oh, this is tame. I don't know what's changed in like the last decade.
You've been on Guardians.
But yeah, it's just been something that I don't know, that I've just...
You have to work the system out on the teacups. You have to agree who's putting their hand over whose and just go for it. And
yeah.
Anyway.
I haven't done the teacups in Magic Kingdom.
Not in a while,
No.
no.
We did it at
Next
Halloween
year.
and had great fun.
Yeah, because it has a Halloween overlay, doesn't it? Yeah. But yeah, I'd say Guardians is definitely up there. And unless, I don't know, maybe especially if you're a Marvel fan.
Neil might just being a bit provocative.
Oh, yeah.
This ties in with my next hot take. And that's,
Go for it.
Go on then.
I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I can take that or leave that. I could pretty much seal off Galaxy's Edge and say I'm not bothered about that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I
Hollywood
agree.
Studios, I'm with you.
It's fine. I'm in that generation where I was not born when the first Star Wars films were out. So I feel like that skipped me by. I never watched the films in the 80s. I was too young when those were out. So yeah, Star Wars, I always feel like I've tried to get into it and think, wow, I love this. Doesn't do it for me. Marvel, by far and away, I would take Marvel in a Disney park over Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't see the
Galaxy's
appeal.
Edge as Asgard.
Yeah.
Can we?
That would mean Star Wars wouldn't be out of place anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that lots of people love it, so I don't want it to go anywhere.
No,
Like if I never step foot in there again, it wouldn't bother me.
I'm doing everybody a favour by keeping out of my wasting everybody else's time by me going on the rides and going, that was great, but not really being like, I've got no interest in building a lightsaber
Or a droid.
I would love to do the lightsaber, but I'm not spending the money on it. And I think the price point of it is not worth it. And I'm a Star Wars fan.
That's controversial.
But I'm a Star Wars fan.
Is it?
But,
think
but
everyone
I don't think I want to
tries.
spend $250 to build my own lightsaber.
So I've done it, not me. I've been with Millie when she's done it.
Yeah.
So Morgan and Mills have both done it, and when they did it together, and I went. They can take somebody in with you. So Dad and I both went in with them. That experience, if you're a Star Wars fan, is absolutely incredible. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I thought it was amazing. I thought the cast members who were delivering that were unbelievably good in terms of their commitment to story and delivery. Their acting was amazing. It's not just building a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And I think that if it's something that really floats your boat, then I would recommend doing it, because it's one of those memories that you would hold on to forever, because there is nothing like that in any other merchandise location.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just adding that to my list for next August.
It's like a little show, immersive experience. It's not just screwing bits of lightsabers together.
Yeah.
Well,
No
Michael
way.
wants to do it.
That
So
is
if you
true.
ask him nicely, you might be able to go in with
Yeah,
You
him.
can go and
Yeah.
watch him,
Yeah.
and save the money.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you'll
Yep,
want to
I
go
like
back and
that.
do it yourself. But it's the droid is slightly different, because that is just, the conveyor goes around and you build your droid, and it's very cool. But the lightsaber is different. and it takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes,
Okay.
and that entire thing is a completely immersive. And for some people, like thinking about Morgan, totally emotional, gut wrenching. You are in it.
Okay.
So for something special, it's excellent. It's the same price as the Wild Africa trek, so you've got to balance your.
I think I'll do the Wild Africa trek.
Yeah,
It would be absolutely lost on me because I'd be like,
exactly. I just went because I was intrigued. So Millie was like, "Come with me." I was like, "Okay, yeah, fine." I wouldn't do it myself, but
even ogres is a little bit lost on me.
yeah, I don't get.
I'll go in ogres because
I don't get the menu. I really don't get.
That's a controversial view. I'm not.
I'm not.
No, I'm with you, Claire.
I can't.
I had a good
ogres.
experience, reasonable experience first time. Second time, I was like, no, I'm not coming back here. These people are not very nice.
I don't need to go back.
I prefer a lounge where I can get a seat and
Me
not having
too.
to stand up.
I don't want to pay that sort of money for pre-made drinks that they pour into a cup that I have to stand to drink.
Yeah.
No. Where they shout at me for wearing my backpack on my back that's taking up too much room. I don't need to pay to do that. I'm good.
I'll tell you where I'll go. I'll go to Trader Sam's or Nomad Lounge and I'll sit in there all day.
I'll
I'll
go
keep
to
myself
Baseline.
out on Knight's Edge.
I'll go to Baseline from Hollywood
Baseline.
Studios.
Or Brown Derby Lounge.
Yeah.
I'd be in a different park anyway because
It's not.
Yeah,
Hollywood Studios.
This is true.
Right.
Tuning lounge is quite nice.
Yeah.
I like the tuning lounge. We've got the seats back.
There's a time and a place for going in Hollywood Studios, and it's less frequent and not very often.
About 8 p.m. ready for Fantasmic.
I will say though, I think Hollywood Studios has the best Christmas decorations.
Yes.
I think it has the best Christmas music as well.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Does that link into another hot take about parties?
I think it's Jollywood Nights is a better party than Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
You've never done Jollywood Nights.
I know, but everything I've seen and all the reviews, all the vlogs, everything I've seen of last year and so far this year, I would much rather spend, if I'm there at Christmas, say next year, I wouldn't be paying for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. I'd be going to Jollywood Nights.
We did both. We did both
last year.
I'd be doing both.
We did both last year, and I'm only doing one this year, and it's not Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. I know Claire had a different experience, sadly.
It was just cold the night we were there, to be honest.
To be fair, it was cold when we were there. We've all been saying, can we hope it's a bit warmer this year? It was cold when we were there.
I haven't done Mickey's Very Merry, so I haven't got that to compare to.
Oh, okay.
But I enjoyed Jollywood Nights. I got to meet Phineas and Ferb,
I thought you weren't that bothered from memory.
I liked it, and some of the drinks were really cool. I thought the band and the Tip Top Club bit down by the Tower of Terror was amazing. We stayed there for ages. We got dressed up. I think there was some. I think it could be improved. Like the band, the Latin band, were in the wrong place.
I missed them completely.
I'd have put them the other end near the theatre rather than down the far end by Baseline. But
I only found the Latin band by pure mistake.
By mistake, going to the loo
because
down
I was going to Baseline Tap House to get a margarita. So it's always driven by me sourcing alcohol from somewhere. It was like, go for a margarita. Oh, there's
I didn't see them at all because I was holding the spot for the fireworks.
Ah, okay.
So we came back and it was like, here, I took these videos of the band. I was like,
I stood there watching the band drinking my margarita. They were great.
The band were really good. They were just in the wrong place, I think. I didn't like the Muppet Show. I didn't like the song and dance show. I thought it was...
The reviews of it this year, actually, because they've changed it quite dramatically, they've shortened the show and it's a more focus on the Muppets.
Right. The concept was poor. The delivery was poor. I did not enjoy it. So that was the bit that I thought was rubbish.
Maybe that's where I thought you wouldn't enjoy it. Was just the Muppet Show.
I also think it looks less crowded.
Yeah.
And when you look at all the crowds in Magic Kingdom, even though it's a party night, it's always busy.
But I find that generally about their ticketed party events.
Yeah.
My annoyance with any of those events is if I can't experience everything that's on offer in that one evening, you're either the crowds are too big or you're not. You put too much on. You shouldn't have to pay to go 2 or 3 nights to say, well, I want to see the shows, I want to meet some characters, and I want to get some cookies and some eggnog. Like, if you're going to go to a Christmas party, I want to experience all of it, not be trudging around from one place to another and miss things because there's just not enough time.
I think Jollywood Nights
some
still
of the
managed to get
queues.
the balance.
Yeah. Some of the queues that I found were like Mickey's Christmas party were like, right, we're going to walk over here now because there's a character meet over there. Then you're like queuing for an hour to one character. And that's an hour out of the whole party gone.
And I've always said, you know, Mickey meets in lots of different rooms at Town Square. Why are they not doing that with some of these special characters? Just get people through them. Because when they're stood in a queue, they're not spending money. I'm not buying stuff. I'll happily go and buy food and drinks and all sorts. But I can't because I'm in a queue.
Yeah. So that's how we met Phineas and Ferb, is that we started the night before the party started in the queue for Phineas and Ferb. So the minute I think once the party started at 7 o'clock or something, 7:30, 8 o'clock, we were 10 minutes before we met them. We stood in the queue for 45 minutes, an hour beforehand, but that's okay because we weren't doing anything else. You know, we arrived early and it was, so that was fine. We got our Gertie cookies and then we stood in the queue. That was fine. Yeah. But if I'd missed bits of the party to do that, well, we didn't go and stand in lines to meet other people to miss.
I'm trying to think what's new at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party that wasn't there the last time we did it in 2019. There doesn't seem to be.
They've got a new song for the parade because they lost the license.
Oh yeah,
they lost the license on the parade song and they didn't want to pay to renew it. So they've got a new song now.
Disney saving money.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Christmas
Time.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, that parade can get in the bin then. I can just go straight in the bin with that.
I don't know if it's that whole bit or which bit it is, but I know they've definitely lost the license, got a new song.
Yeah.
Jared told me that before.
But other than that, they're the new fireworks in 2019, which
we did,
which were good, but not as good as Holiday Wishes. So it's one of those ones that it's like, and the price has gone up, obviously, as most things have, and it's like, no, I think Jollywood Nights looks so much better.
Yeah,
a much better option.
Jollywood Nights is.
I think that's. I also think if you're going to Disney and you've never done either, I actually do think if you've never done either, I think you should do the Christmas party, the Christmas parade, the Christmas fireworks. I think it's magical. Getting the cookies and the hot chocolate, and I do think if someone's they've never been at Christmas, which one should I do? I'd probably suggest that one, even if they were an adults only group. However, if you've ever done that, go to Jollywood. I think for me, I preferred Jollywood last year.
I thought it was it didn't feel like you were rushing. It felt like a relaxed party. You got to experience pretty much everything that was there. I mean, we tasted food, drinks, we saw the shows, we met characters, we did
loads special of photo things. I don't know if they're back this year, the photo opportunities. They have special.
At no point did it feel like
the camera and stuff. They are,
They are back again. Oh, amazing. Doing that again.
So at no point did I ever feel like that was rushed in the evening. It felt like you could go. We sat twice to sample some of the food. We went and listened to the band with some cocktails near Tower of Terror. We saw the shows, and I felt like I was quite relaxed. Whereas Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party always feels like go there, need to go there. It's the parade brilliant and it feels magical, but Jollywood Nights definitely I thought is a better party evening. So I completely agree.
Yep.
It's a shame it's Hollywood Studios though, right? Because
they've got the best Christmas stuff.
But they have the best Christmas decorations. So
Gertie's got a Santa hat and everything.
Yeah.
I love Gertie and her Santa cat.
I've got a hot take, and the boardwalk isn't worth the hype.
The hotel or the general area?
Both. The hotel's okay. We've stayed there once, but I don't think it's worth the hype of. I think the resorts next to it are better, and also I don't think there's much there for like evening entertainment. Every time we've been there, it's either not much has been going on, maybe it's bad timing. I just don't know why it's highly rated by people.
I think you're right. The entertainment and stuff is not the same as what it was pre-pandemic. It just never seemed to come back in the same way. People didn't go there in the same way. We were talking about it only last night when we were recording the podcast for this month. Everything's closed. The ESPN closed, although now there's very expensive cake you can get. The Big River Grill closed. There's not much in the way of quick service there. The pizza window that you used to be able to get a whole pizza at a half decent price, you can't get anything. The carts, some of the carts are closed down.
The character meal at Trattoria Forno is gone. That's not.
Yeah, it's just no characters now. Just
I have to admit,
Jelly Rolls is there and it's still good.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Dance Hall though is always empty.
Yeah.
And that is a bizarre venue. It's never full of people. That place.
It's always empty, and it's a bit weird. It lacks atmosphere because there's never anyone in there.
Yeah, I reckon if what they need to do is to put something purposeful in there. So if they hosted, almost made it like well, I've been to Fort Worth in Dallas, and they have a big dance hall in Fort Worth where everyone from the area comes, and you can go in there and you can find a partner and do two-step all night long with a great country band. And if it was like that, I think they would it would be rammed.
I agree.
Every single night. They just haven't put the effort into, and it doesn't fit with the boardwalk theming. But they could make it a venue for something.
They could do different things on different evenings.
Right?
Yeah.
Be like Billy Bob's at Disneyland Paris.
It would.
Rock dancing and
I've got some great stories about that in the 90s. I'll save that for another night.
Yeah.
There's just so much of that resort that I think that we stayed there in 2018 and loved it. Loved staying there. The proximity to Epcot's great and to Hollywood Studios. But then we had breakfast there. It was like, quick service was the Boardwalk Bakery or the Bellevue Lounge, which was here's a tray of pastries that you can choose which one you want. It was like a mini Starbucks with very terrible coffee. Yeah.
So I will get an Uber to the Boardwalk and then enjoy, the gingerbread Boardwalk Bakery in the lobby if it's Christmas. Go and have a look at the horrible nanny chairs. Have a look round. Use the loo with the comedy wallpaper, and then walk round and have breakfast at Trattoria al Forno. And it's really lovely. And then walk into Epcot. That would be, one of my favourite mornings. And I'd have an early breakfast, like a 7:45 breakfast at Trattoria, so they're in Epcot at 9. And it's glorious because that morning view over Crescent Lake is absolutely unparalleled. It's so beautiful. So I think there are great things that the evening entertainment at the Boardwalk, not so great.
Yeah.
As a place.
And maybe that the thing is it's proximity to Epcot, where there's so much going on in the evening at Epcot that actually having something too close. Yeah. And
there's no point in paying for something if no one's going to use it.
Yeah.
There's no point
if everyone's going to be
entertainment on the Boardwalk if everyone's going to be stood around watching Luminous.
Yeah. I remember we did see illuminations from our balcony when we said the Boardwalk, which was nice.
Parts of it,
as much as we could.
The Abracadabra bar. Is that how you say it?
I've been in there.
I really struggle to say that.
We went in there once and it was busy, couldn't find a table, so we left, and the atmosphere in there wasn't great. But
there's about 6 tables in it, that's why.
Yeah, it's very small.
Yeah.
It's got a scary ventriloquist dummy on the roof.
So we ended up, what was it, Martha's Vineyard?
We did.
At the beach.
With Mark.
Ooh.
Which was even,
Yeah, no, that's even worse.
But they had seats. That was the only thing.
Yeah. You know what? You've been walking around all day. I need a seat. Yeah. I'm with you.
Go to Komodos. Enjoy that instead.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, should I have my last one?
Go
on, Becca. What's your last one?
I'm going to get crucified for this. Fantasmic is my least favourite of all the nighttime shows.
No.
I take no responsibility for this.
No.
You're in silence. Because I just feel like all of the other ones that are there are better.
I need to make sure that you go and see Fantasmic, because clearly you must have fallen asleep during previous shows because you've not seen it.
And to that, don't get me wrong. There are bits. I didn't say I didn't like it. I said it was my least favourite.
The The Disney World
That'd be
was
your
not
least
gonna be-
favourite when everyone in the crowd is going. They've done 2 hours
Yeah.
of the Mexican wave, going backwards and forwards
know,
across
I
the
would
I
say
stadium.
don't
actually-
even think it's the show itself. I think
the
it's
pre-show as good.
getting it out.
Oh, it's fine.
You just
You
wait.
just wait.
Sit
You
down
just
for
wait.
5 minutes and wait for everyone else to go, Becca.
No,
I've been sitting
because
on
that
those
metal
seats for the
seating-
past 20 minutes.
Those
My
seats
bum
are
is numb by this
Oh,
point.
yeah,
I need to stand
yes,
up.
yeah.
the seating is unbearable. It is the
Yes,
worst.
the
They are
seating's
the worst
horrible.
seats ever.
At least they have seats, unlike in Disneyland.
Yeah.
I think I'd stand.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
but
I couldn't-
actually,
not
I
for half
found
an hour
it-
before the show starts doing the Mexican wave and standing. I
Yeah,
think
in Disneyland,
Wasn't-
we sat on the floor and it was really relaxed. We're not.
Yeah, that's
It
only
didn't
because we
matter.
paid for the Fantasmic
Yeah.
dinner package.
So,
Ah.
but that was not over.
so you had to pay for a floor.
Maybe you're not doing it right, Becca. Maybe you need to pay.
Maybe
for
I'm not.
the special
But
package where you get the tables and chairs at the back. And
maybe. I just.
Yeah, I don't want to be at the
Um,
back.
No,
Give
it's
me
been
the
the splash
front.
zone, right, Claire?
At Disneyland, you're right at the water's edge when you. have
Yeah,
one of
it's
those
very.
packages.
It's a lot closer. You know what, Becca? The bit with all the projection onto the water that seems to just never end. There is times where my mind wanders. It's a bit boring, that bit. And when the villains are all coming and they're all changing from one villain to the next, and
It's
And it's
incredible.
not
The whole
always a cohesive story either. It's
I mean,
a bit.
I do follow.
Overall, the
I-
story
I
is
sta-
there.
I stand on
but
my bed, you've
you
fallen
kind
asleep.
of get a bit. Suddenly, Moana is there, and suddenly there's a Pocahontas bit, and it's kind of okay. But what's that got to do with the actual story?
Okay, I hear
versus
you.
evil.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
So yeah, I told you it was going to be controversial.
The
But
jeopardy of the
there's
boats
also
crashing.
Luminous, so it can't possibly be the worst.
No, I like Luminous.
the jeopardy of the boats crashing.
Right?
I agree, Claire.
Give it. Last time I would have said Epcot Forever, but that's gone now. Luminous is there. So
I'll be back. Epcot
Yeah, it'll
will
be
be back. We'll never
It
lose
won't.
that is going to come back. It'll
At
be
some
back in
point.
some incarnation, even worse than it was.
What are they
It'll be
going to
next
do?
time.
Fantastic will go up in my
What will
expectations.
Epcot Forever remove next time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They got rid of the
Fireworks.
jet skis. I just play
It'll
the
just-
music.
it'll just be a quarter of the fireworks, but with the whole of the sound.
And veggie, fruit over and over.
Yeah.
I'll blame Star Wars
I
for that.
absolutely disagree with you. And if John was here, and if Josh was here,
I know. I did say
You would
crucified,
be-
didn't I?
ousted from this conversation because
We are going to be seeing that twice next trip to make up for it. Yeah, no, we need
Take
to
a
see that.
cushion. Take a cushion.
That's
a good idea.
take a
If
cushion.
you have a cushion.
How old are you?
Poor grandma or grandpa, I should
A
say.
cushion and a blanket.
Oh,
Yeah, the thing is, you're sitting there for 45 minutes before the show starts. Then you've got 20 minutes of the show. Then you're saying sit there for 10 minutes to let the crowds go down. There is no way my bum can take that long. sitting on the
I tell you what,
What about the
disappointing.
people that try
Gorgeous.
to walk over the benches
Or
when you're
leave.
sitting on them?
What's worse is when people
Or they
leave before the
leave
show's
5-10
finished,
minutes before the show's finished to try and escape the crowds.
but standing up blocking people's view in the process.
Maybe it's just people I don't like.
I think that's a running theme. I just don't like
Yeah.
people.
People.
Yes,
If-
absolutely.
If Disney World
There
had
you are.
less people,
Nice controversial one. Disney World would be even better than it is if all the people would leave.
Yeah. I think there should be adults only evenings. There you go. That's my last hot take to leave you with. I think they should do adults only evenings, no children allowed.
well, like Disney After Hours, but just
Yeah,
Actually,
Disney
yeah.
After Hours.
Very dodgy.
Yeah,
It
it
really
does
does.
sound dodgy, but I do not mean it dodgy.
Yeah.
I just want to ride rides with other adults.
an 18
Can I
plus
leave you
event.
with my
That sounds
ultimate,
awful.
my ultimate hot take is Disneyland in Anaheim is far better than Disney World in Florida.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. I'll let you know.
We'll let you know in May. Do you know what? This has been an incredible show. I knew this was going to be controversial. But yeah, a huge thank you to everyone joining in the comments. There's been some really good ones. And yeah, before we go, don't forget we do have a brand new podcast, like we mentioned earlier, which is dropping on the 1st of December, which is only a few days away. So Claire, I hope you got your Christmas tree ready. It's,
Goes up on the 24th, remember?
and down on the 26th.
No, it doesn't come down the 26th. It'll go up probably the 15th.
Okay.
Not terrible.
It's like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then 10 days, and it'll be down on the
I
evening.
have a
of
real
Christmas Day.
tree, and I can't be bothered
Okay.
to hoover every day.
So if it's a real tree, I can understand it
It's
because
a
I
real,
was
it
all
will be a
fake
real
tree. So.
tree. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, the episode that's out on the 1st of December is first of a 2-part special where we wrap up all the news, announcements, and happenings from 2024. We also share some of the stand-up moments for our own magical trips this year, so it's not a show you'll want to miss. So, and be sure to join us here next week as we dive into something festive. So the best things to do in Orlando beyond the Disney bubble. So there's so much more to explore, and we can't wait to share it with you. So we are on all the socials at GB Mickey Waffle on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and now Blue Sky. So until the next time, keep waffling, and we'll see you real soon.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Now my wheels in motion and my